She kept it simple.
There's nothing like deep, like, oh, I went on a killing spree. No.
Calm, controlled. The detective didn't argue. He just narrowed the focus. Where? How? What did it look like? And that's when the story begins to slip.
Nobody was there around at that time. It was dark. It was literally like creep dark type of dark.
The more specific it gets, the weaker it becomes. This is cognitive load theory. In action, the harder a lie is to maintain, the faster it collapses under detail. And then, without pressure, without confrontation, she says it.
And so he wouldn't do it. So I strangled her out and I took her lock and banged her head a whole bunch of times. So it's not like it's literally like we all die at some point. It's not like she was literally about to die.
Just like that, the lie is gone. But the pertinent questions are who evil demonic woman is, what happened on that day, and how detectives psychologically trap her with a perfect bait. Thanks to the law enforcement agencies for providing us footage of this case. Welcome back to my channel. I don't have many followers, but your single comment is a ray of hope for me. On May 5th, 2023, what began as a routine call quickly turned into something far more disturbing.
Regional dispatch, non-emergency.
Yeah, this is Detective Sedaris from the Canton Police Department.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I am investigating a possible kidnapping involving a Jonathan Jones. They were stopped in Arizona by the Border Patrol in a Nicole Jones vehicle. That's Jonathan's mom. Now, the 17-year-old girl that is with Jonathan, who has a nationwide pickup, texted and said that they murdered Jonathan's mother, somebody else, and set a house on fire.
And we're just checking a safety, or we want to find out about the vehicle, or?
Well, I know the vehicle's in Arizona because the Border Patrol stopped 4 hours ago. But I just want to, make sure Nicole's all right.
And Nicole's last name again is?
Jones.
Yeah. So her vehicle's in Arizona with her son, or no?
Yeah, no. Her son, Jonathan, was with a 17-year-old official missing, Katilyn Coons.
A detective from the Canton Police Department reached out to the Sylvania Township Police Department with an urgent request. Conduct a welfare check on a woman named Nicole Jones. But this wasn't just a missing person concern. The 17-year-old girl, Katilyn Coons, had vanished from her foster home. And before disappearing, she made a chilling claim to her caseworker. She said she had killed 2 people. One of them, she named directly Nicole Jones. Moments later, officers were on their way to a quiet address on Timbers Edge Boulevard. When they arrived, something fell off immediately. Waiting at the scene were agents from the United States Marshal Service, already investigating.
But hey, we're here with the PD right now. Let me call you back.
How you doing? That's kind of I read it as I'm coming down here. It's kind of a weird one.
Christopher.Hodge.
There's a package on the front porch. It looks like it's been there a week.
Okay.
HOD.
He knows more about the details of
Okay.
that.
You guys are marshals?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you working with the detective? Is Canton?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like a fugitive investigation, but then I guess
The one lady
girlfriend
said that she killed her in arson.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't obviously
So
fit,
I don't know if I
But they're
think
supposedly they took mom's car. The lady that lives here, they're in her car somewhere.
okay.
Supposedly.
Do we know how old she is?
He probably has.
Okay. You checked the doors or anything?
I checked. You can look right in on the patio. It's dark in there. And
The story they shared only deepened the confusion. Katilyn had also claimed the house had been burned down, but the house was still standing. No fire, no visible damage, just silence. Officers made entry.
I do got my RAM and stuff, but obviously it's your.
You know, I'm gonna, of anything, see if we got a
key holder or something.
key holder here, or the property manager. Usually they have somebody.
That's a good idea.
Right here. Order. Good.
this person somewhere else.
How about the garage? Did you guys check the garage?
Yes.
Anything in there?
You would have heard it.
Shake plate. No, I meant, is there any vehicles in
No.
there?
So this right here was brought in.
Inside, the home was unsettled, disorganized, abandoned, but there was no sign of Nicole Jones. No indication of where she had gone. And then came another detail.
Yeah, I kind of read it. I'm going to see if she's seen her. This lady has got contact numbers for the house here. It says she hasn't seen this lady in a long time, but a gentleman comes in and out.
So what happened is this dude was on bond for Wood
The son.
County. The son.
Right.
He was supposed to show up for sentencing or something like that.
Okay.
This morning, the Border Patrol stops him in Douglas, Arizona.
Okay.
With a 17-year-old that's a missing juvenile.
And she's the one reporting the murder and
But
arson.
but they also said they burned the house down too.
Right.
But obviously the house ain't burned down.
Right.
So right now,
So we have no idea where she is.
we don't.
Okay.
So I'm going to verify the plate comes back here of the car. The border. So the
Okay.
Border Patrol stopped him and said, "Hey, we got this one guy here, this missing juvenile." And the sheriff's office down there, they may have 2 or 3 guys.
Hours earlier, that same vehicle had been stopped near the U.S.-Mexico border. Inside it were 2 people, Katilyn Coons and Nicole's son, Jonathan Jones. A missing juvenile, a potential suspect. And yet, somehow, they had slipped through, released before authorities could fully connect the dots. Now they were gone. The situation escalated instantly. The Federal Bureau of Investigation joined the case. Alerts were issued. A missing woman, a fleeing couple, a confession that didn't match the evidence at the scene. Nothing lined up. 3 days later, on May 8th, the search crossed international borders. Mexican authorities located the pair in Ciudad Juarez, driving Nicole's car. Inside the vehicle were her personal belongings, her wallet, her identification, everything she would have needed if she were still alive. Katilyn was taken into custody and transferred to U.S. officials at the El Paso border. At this point, there were more questions than answers. A missing woman, a claimed murder, a house that showed no signs of violence, and a story that didn't quite make sense. Because if Nicole Jones was truly dead, then where was her body? And more importantly, what really happened inside that house? The answers would begin to surface the moment Katilyn Coons was placed inside an interrogation room and the door closed behind her. Today we will focus on the psychological aspects of this interrogation.
So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I really appreciate it. So really quick, Katilyn, just to let you know who we are, why we're here, what's going on is, let me show you our credentials. So my name is Celeste Donnelly. I'm a special agent here in El Paso with the FBI, and this is my partner, Hannah Mazza. And so the reason why we got called in is because we were notified that there was a juvenile that was in Mexico, a U.S. citizen, and that got, was going to be deported back. So we're here because we just want to talk to you, figure out what happened, how you made it down there, if you were treated okay, because obviously...
I don't really want to talk about it. I already talked to the police about it.
In Mexico?
Yes.
Okay.
They had a translator. So what college trying to say is like our concern is that because
I know nothing bad happened. I was just down here for a week or so, and then when I went to go use the bathroom, that's when the Mexican police pulled me aside and was like, "You're gonna have to come with us. You don't have a traveling visa."
okay.
That's what happened. And besides that, nothing else happened. I've been to a couple Mexican restaurants. I've slept at a couple motels here and there. That's it.
Okay.
There's nothing deep, I went on a killing spree. No, it's not what happened.
Okay.
And I came to Mexico because I was looking for a new beginning. And then out of nowhere they started posting stuff, and that's when the Mexican police were also like, "Why is this showing all this massive?" I don't know. They just now started putting things up like that.
Detectives begin by presenting the interaction as a welfare check rather than an interrogation, focusing on Katilyn's return from Mexico instead of the homicide allegation tied to her name. This reduces immediate defensiveness and creates a false sense of safety. This approach aligns with reactance theory, which suggests that individuals resist when they perceive their freedom is threatened. By removing the appearance of pressure, investigators lower resistance and increase voluntary disclosure.
Apparently, they're saying the U.S. Marshals want me. They said that the National Center of America wants to talk to me. I talked to my local police, and they said that they were going to be taking me out for missing because I wasn't even supposed to be put in as missing.
Were you missing at one point?
I was
Last year. Okay. What happened with that? I just want to kind of know what happened.
Well, that's just because I ended up in the system.
In the foster care system. How did you get in the foster care?
I don't really want to talk about it.
Part of what our family here is because we're American citizens, and we get so many reports of American citizens going out of Mexico and all these horrible things happening.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that nothing happens.
Nothing did happen to me. Nothing at all. The only thing is that the Mexican police, they were tightening the handcuffs on me very tight. Every time I was screaming, it was hurting me. And the one lady, she jumped on me and stuff and was like, shut up, and she kept tightening it. She even put, I was sitting in the chair right here and they had the handcuffs on the both chairs, and she moved my one that was right here to the other chair, so I was tapping to be like this.
Where in Mexico that happened?
It was in, not the center that I was picked up in, but one of their centers.
Was there a jail?
No, it was a shelter.
A shelter, and they had to be at that shelter? Did they say why they were handcuffing you?
They said that the reason why is because I needed to stay calm, and I told the person on the phone, the USA candidate, or whatever the hell the person was, I was like, they became aggressive with me for no reason out of nowhere. They literally just started yelling at me, and I couldn't understand them. And I was so I started yelling back at them, and then they started hitting me, pushing me, so I started doing it back, and then that's when they threw me on the ground and put me in handcuffs.
And so these are the kind of things that we want to know about, right? It's because you're a U.S. citizen, and if you were injured over there, you need to hear these things.
Right.
Okay? So that's all we're here for, That's just what we want to talk to you about.
The agents allow Katilyn to describe alleged mistreatment by Mexican authorities in detail, validating her experience without interruption. This positions them as allies rather than adversaries. This tactic draws on the norm of reciprocity. When individuals feel heard and respected, they are more likely to reciprocate by sharing additional information, even if it becomes self-incriminating.
I was found with the 2 phones on me.
Got it.
So, they let me have it, whenever they were trying to figure out what was going to happen to me. But when I went to the shelter last night, they took them from me because their rules there said that I couldn't have them because of me being a minor.
Got it. Yeah. And you know what? That's kind of how it is here in the United States as well.
Well, no, I know in the United States I can have my phone. That's where I got my phone here.
Right.
So I know I can have it here.
Yeah.
And I know that also, even though I'm in the system, I was supposed to get emancipated so that I could have my own house and everything. And before that, my caseworker already knew that I had my own phone and everything. So I was also allowed to through my county and everything.
Okay.
I have papers and stuff about that.
Okay. So you had to go through the state to have your own phone?
Well, when you're in the system, they get to decide what you can have, who you can contact, who gets to call, and all that.
Okay. Thank you.
But since I was about to be 18, I was about to be emancipated.
Okay. So actually, can you talk to me about that? What were the circumstances of the Mexicans? How did you guys get pulled over? What happened?
The person I was with, we were gonna go and use the bathroom, and they showed up out of nowhere. They took the person I was with, let him against the car. They took me in the back seat, and they asked me what my age was, what we were doing. I said I was 17. We were going to go use the bathroom before, trying to sell jewelry. And he was like, well, the 2 ages are really bad, And I was like, actually, I know it's actually illegal in Mexico. As long if the only time someone can be with someone above the age of 18 is if they're doing something sexually, then the person has to be 18 for someone to be dating somebody above 18.
Instead of confronting her directly, investigators guide Katilyn from broad, low-stakes topics into more specific details about her movements, relationships, and decisions. This structured progression encourages her to commit to a version of events before realizing its implications. This reflects the foot-in-the-door technique, where initial small compliance increases the likelihood of larger, more consequential admissions.
So I know that, and I told him that, and I was like, I know that, and we haven't been doing anything sexual. I just came here with him, and he happens to be my boyfriend. And, you know, when back in Ohio, they already knew about it, so...
Okay.
And so what the, you know, policia or whatever said, they were like, well, we're going to search the car, you know, do a search on it, see what's in there. They were like, if you don't have a permit for it, we're going to have to keep it, and you're going to have to go back to Texas, and you can either go in the car to Texas if you do have the permit, but if you don't have the permit, we're going to escort you guys there ourselves. So they ended up finding marijuana in the car, even though Border Patrol checked that. They already checked the marijuana in the car, and the Border Patrol let us go. They said we were fine, that we had the legal amount in the car for marijuana.
Okay.
And then that day, yesterday, the policia were like, yeah, marijuana's illegal.
Okay.
Was that Border Patrol here in Texas or somewhere else in El Paso?
I think it was the Border Patrol of, it's not Texas. I don't know where it was. It's not Texas.
Arizona, California,
I think it was Arizona.
Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot of information. So why did you get stopped by Border Patrol in Arizona?
In Arizona?
Uh-huh.
Because they have, like, patrol cars, like, throughout everywhere.
Okay.
That's by the borders.
Got it. Okay.
And, like, whenever they stopped us, we asked them, like, what do we need to get into Mexico or whatever, because, like, we weren't even entering Mexico until that point. So they were like, oh, you don't need anything for you because you're a minor. You just need to tell them your name, your age, and stuff, and let them know that you're a minor. And I was like, okay, and then, so they let us off or whatever, and then, you know, we ended up going through the border, and then that's when that happened.
The border to Mexico? Was that through Arizona or through here in El Paso?
I think it was through Texas, if I remember correctly. It, like, I don't know anything. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I have a brain injury.
It's okay. It's okay.
As Katilyn explains her journey, her narrative becomes increasingly complex, mixing legal claims, travel details, and fragmented memory. Investigators do not interrupt or simplify her account, allowing the cognitive burden to build. This leverages cognitive load theory, which suggests that deception requires more mental effort than truth-telling, making inconsistencies more likely as complexity increases.
So, and you can take your time. Take your time. We're just trying to understand, right? So, was it a checkpoint, or did they just stop you on the side of the road?
I think it was a checkpoint.
Okay.
If I remember, isn't it like checkpoints, like where they can like stop you and check your car and everything?
Yeah. So there's a lot of checkpoints in New Mexico and here in Texas, right? Because as we can see, you know, remember what we saw at 5, there's a lot of people that are trying to come across the border, like illegally. So that's one of the things, we're just trying to make sure that people aren't being smuggled in or smuggled out, you know, illegally, guns, drugs, stuff like that. So that's why they make those kind of stops.
Right.
Real quick, your phone password to your trainer, remember?
It should be.
Can we have you on? Because
It should be 205.
yeah, we're done.
Hold on, let me give it a minute. It might be my birthday, I don't know. Yeah, I know it was something to do with my birthday. I don't know if it was my birthday or if it was after my birthday, because I didn't want people to be able to figure it out easily, because you know how people steal phones.
Yeah, it's okay. We can take a minute.
Also, my ex might be blowing me up because he keeps telling me about the U.S. Marshal, so you might see that number pop up in the messages.
Who's your ex?
His name is Michael Smith. He's trying to tell me that, you know, I'm wanted and that I'm about to be going to jail, and I'm on Facebook right now, so here you go.
What was the password?
What? 2006.
Okay.
6?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's my birthday.
Why would he say that?
What?
Everything that,
Yeah, like that, U.S. Marshals or something?
yeah,
Because I used to be with him when I was younger, and because of the cops finding out and everything, he's trying to get at me as best as he can right now. So he's trying to like help the police and stuff. And I'm like, you know, there's nothing to help out with. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Detectives deliberately withhold what they know while allowing Katilyn to speculate about U.S. Marshals, court proceedings, and being wanted. This uncertainty prompts her to fill in gaps herself, often revealing more than intended. This tactic reflects uncertainty reduction theory, where individuals under ambiguity attempt to reduce discomfort by increasing communication, even when it works against them.
Or whatever, you're going to have to get, you know, the visas to come over onto this side of Mexico, because apparently where the border's at, yes, they let you in, but then once you get to a certain stop point, you have to have a travel visa to keep going. And we didn't know that, like nobody told that side. And it didn't say on Google either. So that's what we told them, and then they were like, okay, they searched the car, they found the gummies, and then they were like, okay, yeah, he's going to be in jail for 2 days because of marijuana. And then I was like, okay, and then they're like, you're going to go to a shelter, and I was like, how's this going to work? You're literally splitting up 2 people. I'm going to be alone in Mexico if you guys let me out, and then I'm like, then they're like, well, we're not going to let you out because you're a minor, and in Mexico you can't be by yourself. In Mexico, so that's what they said. And I was like, that's stupid as hell, because in Ohio, you'd be 13 and you could be alone, so that's stupid. And so that's what I told them, and they didn't understand me.
How long have you been Johnson dating?
We started dating like a couple months ago.
You like him?
How'd you like me? We met because I was at a residential call families program.
You were at what?
I was at a program, families program, and I basically, I guess, ran away from there, but I broke out because they were very abusive there, and I ended up running into him, and so that happened. I gave him my phone number, and that was it, and then I turned myself into the police, and then...
Because you're runaway?
Yeah, and then ever since that, we just been talking to each other, and...
You said you were right into him. Where'd you run into him at, like a store?
Yeah,
store. What kind of store?
I think it was like a Home Depot.
Okay.
It was like some like, I don't know what it was.
In a moment of uncertainty, recent deportation, unclear legal status, unfamiliar setting, the detectives present themselves as calm, structured, and informative. This subtly positions them as a source of stability. This dynamic draws from attachment theory, where individuals under stress gravitate toward figures who provide perceived safety and control, increasing compliance.
Yeah. You said his name's Jonathan. Do you call him Jonathan or do you call him Tim?
I call him Jonathan.
Okay. Jonathan, where's he from?
Sylvania, Ohio.
Sylvania, Ohio. Where are you from?
I'm from Ohio. Now, this is where it gets complicated because I'm from Akron, Ohio. My caseworker's in Canton, Ohio, but I live in Akron, Ohio.
So how far apart is Canton and Akron? How far apart?
35 minutes.
35 minutes. Are they in like the same county or different counties?
Different counties.
Okay. But you're a caseworker for like feed and foster care?
Yeah, but I don't know if she's my caseworker no more because I thought that like after going to court and stuff like that, I haven't seen her.
Okay. When did you go to court?
Like right after getting out of the hospital.
Back in. When did you get out? You went in February.
I got out I went in February and I got out. I don't know what's the month after February.
March and April, and now we're in May.
I think March I got out. Yeah, it was the ending of March.
Okay. Did you meet Jonathan before or after your car accident?
Before.
Before. Okay.
Yeah.
Was he supportive through all that?
Yes.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about Jonathan?
I like that he's caring and understanding, and I feel like nobody is like him at all.
Yeah.
I've never met somebody like him before.
By allowing Katilyn to provide continuous details about her actions, relationships, and timeline, investigators guide her into a web of self-commitment. Each statement reduces her ability to later change her story without contradiction. This tactic is rooted in commitment and consistency theory, which holds that individuals strive to remain consistent with their prior statements, even when those statements become problematic.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's my caseworker no more, because I thought that after going to court and stuff like that, I haven't seen her.
Okay. When did you go to court?
Like right after getting out of the hospital.
Back in. When did you get out? You went in February.
I got out I went in February and I got out. I don't know what's the month after February.
March and April, and now we're in May.
I think March I got out. Yeah, it was the ending of March.
Okay. Did you meet Jonathan before or after your car accident?
Before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he supportive through all that?
Yes.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about Jonathan?
I like that he's caring and understanding, and I feel like nobody is like him at all.
Yeah.
I've never met somebody like him before.
What does he do so that he cares?
That he cares. He's always making sure that I ate and stuff, and we also had a cat or whatever, so he was always making sure the cat was okay and stuff, and he was always making sure his mom was okay too.
His mom?
Yes.
What's his mom's name?
Nikki.
Nikki?
Yeah.
Okay. Why was he making sure that she was okay?
Why did he making sure she was okay?
Yeah.
Because she also had a eating disorder.
She did?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Nikki? Okay. Okay. I missed part of that. We just talked about her boyfriend Jonathan. She met him before the car accident.
Mm-hmm.
Katilyn paints Jonathan as caring, attentive, and protective. She describes him almost like a safe place in human form. And that matters because when a suspect starts emotionally idealizing someone connected to the case, investigators listen closely. It can reveal loyalty, dependency, or a motive to protect.
Are we almost done here?
Yeah, no, just honestly, I just have a couple more questions for you. I know that you said that you were traveling with someone. Who were you traveling with?
The person, he ended up having to go to jail because they found marijuana in the car, even though Border Patrol let us go with it or whatever.
That was Jonathan, right?
Yeah, Jonathan
Okay.
Jones. And I was with him, and they took him, and then they said some time in Mexico. Apparently, you can't be alone in Mexico if you're a child. And I was well, I'm about to be 18, and I'm literally in Ohio, USA. When I was 13, that's when I was allowed to go off on my own. So.
Yeah, well, and then I think also the fact that you didn't have a visa to enter is also what an issue was for them.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, so John, because you keep saying the person, so I.
Sorry,
No, you have that.
You said somebody was the person.
Hey, you don't have to apologize. I'm just trying to understand. And I, of course, don't want to put any words in your mouth, right? Okay, so Jonathan, and I think you mentioned before that's your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you meet him?
I met him before the car accident, and I met him at a store, and that was whenever I broke out of the Emily's program, which was an abusive eating disorder program, and whenever I was at the store, I gave him my number, and I left, and then a few days after that, after living out on the streets, I turned myself in, and I stayed in contact with him ever since, and he's just been a caring person, so I ended up dating him because I'm about to be 18.
Okay.
But we haven't done anything sexual because I already know the rules of that.
Just sounds like he was a friend, right?
Boyfriend.
Now the detective gently steers the conversation back toward Jonathan, making Katilyn clearly label him as her boyfriend and explain how they met. This is important because vague language creates wiggle room. Specific labels create commitment. And once someone commits to a story in precise terms, later contradictions become much harder to escape.
But my Spanish is still pretty garbage. But I answer C all the time.
I think I'm going to start saying C from now on because that's all I could say is literally C.
Yeah. Yeah.
And gracias.
Yeah. You're not too far off from where my Spanish is, and like I said, I've been here for a while. Okay. And so where were you guys when the Mexican authorities picked you up?
Villa Hamada.
Okay. Via Amada?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you by any chance have quesadillas when you were there?
He did, and he said it was amazing.
Okay. I've always heard that they have the best quesadillas in Via Amada because some cheese that they use. So, do you by any chance know kind of what a dangerous area you were in?
No, I mean, I did see the militara and the police drive by and stuff, but they were driving around so frequently, I didn't think anything was gonna happen, and I know how to defend myself because I grew up in the hood of Ohio, so I know how to fight for myself. And I've been in fights with girls my age. That's the reason why I don't become friends with people my age, because it's just I don't understand them.
Right. So I get it, and I have no doubt that you can defend yourself. But I'm assuming, do you recall driving through Juarez, a town called Juarez?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you stay in?
I don't think so. I just remember driving through it because I have a video of it on my phone. Not a video, I have a picture of it with the name on it.
Okay. So I'm just asking because I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Ciudad Juarez is the name of the town. It's one of the most dangerous cities in the entire world.
Listen to how the detective balances reassurance with reality. He tells Katilyn he believes she can defend herself, then immediately contrasts that with the brutality of cartel country. That shift matters. It challenges her confidence without directly attacking her, making her more likely to reconsider whether her version of events sounds believable.
That's what he said.
Did you guys sleep in the car, or did you stay in hotels?
We slept in the car.
Okay. Were you guys at least in rest stops, or?
Yeah, rest stops.
Okay.
You heard you said you slept in the car the whole way?
Jeez. Because I'm just trying to think of where Ohio is versus where Texas is in Arizona.
I'm very far away.
Yeah, were you guys trying to go?
What?
I know you guys went to Colorado.
What?
I know you guys went to Colorado.
Yeah.
So Ohio is over here. Do you kind of remember which way you went? It's gonna drop.
No, I don't want to know all of it. Okay, there's no point in knowing it. I don't think you guys really need to know that. I think you just need to know what's going to happen in Mexico, because you guys said you want to know something bad happening there. And I'm not trying to give more than I should be having to give. So we went this way.
Okay, so kind of like an AU sort of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long were you guys on the road for?
For a while. Are we almost on questioning?
A long time.
Yeah. I mean, because I feel like we talked about what happened in Mexico. I feel like I went over everything there is to need to know about if there was to be something, and I am ready to get back to America. So.
I got that, and obviously I can tell that you're getting a little bit upset,
I am, because I'm not, I'm literally in whatever this is, there's jail cells by there, I'm sitting on this metal thing, I could literally, be out and about.
Right, so, so I can clarify, it's because you're at what's called the port of entry. You're at port of entry, right?
Right.
So
and you guys said that you wanted to know what happened in Mexico and stuff, and to make sure that I'm not doing anything illegal, and that's the reason why I gave you my passport.
correct, and so you're 17, right?
Correct.
And so
This part is crucial because Katilyn starts resisting. She becomes less cooperative, questions why they need so much detail, and tries to narrow the scope of the interview back to Mexico. That usually signals a shift in her perception. She no longer sees this as just concern for her safety. She senses the conversation moving somewhere more dangerous.
No, I don't. I mean, I trust her, but I don't like her.
Is there anyone that you have in your life besides Jonathan that you do trust?
I mean, no, not really.
Any friends, any people you come in contact with, whatever,
I don't know, you had your car accident, I don't know if there was like a big support group for you or anything like that.
Not really. I mean, there was one person at, what's it called? I don't know. I don't remember. I can't think right now, and I'm kind of getting irritated because this took longer than I imagined. The people that I came with, they told me that I was just going to be dropped off and that, you know, I could make it my way to Ohio myself. And then this happened, so I felt like I was lied by the authorities of that. And so I feel like my time is being wasted because obviously I'm okay. I'm not kidnapped. I'm perfectly fine. I don't see anything that would show any signs of kidnapping. You know, I have my phone, so if I needed help, I would have contacted up, or I could have yelled fire or help. So I think that, like, this is just, like, a big miscommunication with the whole world. So I'm ready to leave. That's all.
Okay.
Right here, Katilyn tries to regain control of the narrative. She insists this is all a misunderstanding, that she's not kidnapped, and that her time is being wasted. But this is a classic early-stage defense, minimizing the situation before the real weight of the interrogation sets in.
We do have some more questions. Tell me about this Facebook message that you sent. It talks about 2 murders and some arsons.
This is when my ex has in my account. I can write you his name down here.
This is kind of thing.
This is the one that keeps texting me, and this is back from when I lived with him. He has my account. He works like on the dark web and stuff.
What do you mean he works on the dark web?
Like he works on the dark web. Like, you know, he hacks for people.
So when we hear dark web, we think like child porn.
Okay, dark web, deep web means hacking in to find someone's IP address, location, find, you know, their account information, you know, posts that haven't been posted, like stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So do you have a number?
No, I don't have that number. I just know his name.
Okay.
Now the story begins to shift. Katilyn introduces a new character, an ex-boyfriend who she claims can hack her accounts and send messages posing as her. This is what investigators call external attribution, placing responsibility on someone unseen to explain away incriminating evidence.
This photo right here is when I went to go get my nails done, but I don't know about this message right here that says I killed 2 people on Twitter.
When was those photos have been taken?
I don't know the exact date. It might say it in my phone.
And so did Michael have these pictures for some reason?
He must have it because I don't understand how else he would have been able to got it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So I understand what you're saying. You're not a victim. Okay. I understand that you want to be an adult, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk to you as an adult. I'm going to talk to you face to face right now about the issues that we have with this. Okay. So it says you killed 2 people.
Okay, but like you understand, he has access to be able to hack it.
Let me finish.
Alright.
It says you killed 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
We can't find Nikki. We don't know where she's at.
I didn't know she was missing.
And your guys have her car,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys had all of her credit cards.
I didn't know that he had her card.
So how do you think it makes us think when there's that and a missing woman?
I didn't know she went missing. I must really have missed Nikki. I used to think that, you know, we killed her, but I didn't know that she went missing. Damn. So who killed her?
Okay, we don't know.
No, but I want to know who killed her because she was a nice mom.
Okay, so I'm saying, we know she hasn't been seen for a while, and it says we killed 2 people. We don't know that she's dead.
The detective doesn't argue. Instead, he lets her talk, then quietly introduces the real issue, a missing woman and a confession that already exists. This is where the tone changes. It's no longer about miscommunication. It's about a potential homicide.
Okay, but you're putting that on me when I thought she was doing perfectly fine and everything. And I told you I didn't send those messages. He's been able to hack my account.
So what we're trying to figure out is what happened and where she could be.
I don't know where else.
And if Jonathan is somehow associated with her going missing or worse than that, her being dead.
He wouldn't do that. He cared about her. He made sure that me and her ate Like, he made meals for us and was trying to get his mom to eat and stuff. Like, she wouldn't eat just because, like, her dentures would always, you know, be in her mouth, and she didn't, like, she felt uncomfortable eating like that in front of people. But, you know, he kept telling her, you know, it's okay to eat like that. Like, you know, my girlfriend's okay with you. Like, she hasn't eaten it for herself. Like, Mom, come play cards with us. Mom, come do this. Like, you know, we want you to be a part of this.
How old is her mom?
I don't know that.
Is she like 15 or is she like 80?
I don't know.
Older woman?
I really don't know.
So you have to understand our concern now, because up until this point, we didn't know about this Michael Smith.
Right.
We didn't know that anybody else was.
Well, he told me that the USA Marshals were working for me. He was the one that told me that I was about to be going to jail or whatever, and I was like, what are you talking about? He's the one that's been texting me, that Michael Smith right there, the one that, you know, probably did do this. Because I don't know where that's up at that, because that's obviously not my phone. I have never seen that in my messages. The only person I've messaged so far on my Facebook Messenger.
Katilyn continues defending Jonathan, describing him as caring and protective. But to investigators, this creates tension. Because when someone strongly defends a person tied to a crime, it often signals emotional attachment that can override truth.
I'm trying to think of anything.
Like you said, we want to talk to him, because you know what, when we do talk to Jonathan, and if he sits here and says, yeah, we killed her, it was all Katilyn, we don't have anything to say, no, it wasn't. Like I said, you have a lot of life to live. And you've had a shit life, but it doesn't have to keep being a shit life.
I don't know.
Katilyn, we have, not only do we have the pawn shop owner's statement, we have the gun now, and then we also have video surveillance putting you at the pawn shop.
I know we went to the pawn shop or whatever, but I didn't know about the gun. I knew that was, he wanted to pawn something to get money to be able to go into Mexico. That's all I knew, because they said that there's border where you have to pay to get in.
Right. We also have another pawn shop where I'm sure that, you know, other items were pawned off at that one too.
Now the detective applies subtle pressure. He introduces evidence, pawn shop records, surveillance, the gun. This is strategic. Instead of accusing directly, he builds a wall of facts, forcing Katilyn to realize that the story she's telling may not hold up.
It was all, it was all me. I told him that I gave him $5. I ran away from an independent living house, and I told him he had $5, you know, to kill her, and he told me that he couldn't do it because that was his mom. And so he wouldn't do it, so I strangled her out, and I took her rock and banged her head a whole bunch of times. And then I told him about it, and he was shocked. So then I let him give him a moment. He threw up, and then we went to go get cleaning supplies that I cashed out and stuff. And then we cleaned up the body, cleaned up everything in the house. We disposed her body in a trash dumpster, and he couldn't do it, so I, you know, was the one that put the body in the trash. And then after that, we took his ankle thing off, and then we went on the run. And most of the way, he was really struggling with it because it was his mom, and he needed marijuana, and that's the reason why you know, there was marijuana gummies in the car when we tried to enter Mexico.
Then everything breaks. Katilyn confesses, calmly, almost methodically. She describes the killing, the cleanup, and the disposal of the body in chilling detail. What's striking isn't just what she says, but how she says it. Detached, structured, almost rehearsed.
Why did you want to kill her? Because she wouldn't let us be together.
And you love him. It took a lot of courage for you to tell us that. Yeah. Okay.
I also killed another person in Arizona in a drive-by. I don't know who it was. Also committed 2 arsons in Arizona in the middle of nowhere. Don't know where that was either.
Okay. That was a drive-by. What happened?
I, loaded the gun and stuff and shot the person, and I left real fast, and then after that I washed off the residue of the gunpowder.
Okay. Where were you making the gun?
I know I was in Phoenix. There's Tucson that we were also in, and I drove it over.
Do you know where the drive-by happened at?
I think Tucson.
Are you certain that there are 16?
I don't know what happened. I just remember pulling out the gun out of the window and shooting.
Was the male, woman, old, young?
I think it was a woman.
Woman. Do you remember how old she was?
She looked old and she had glasses, and she was by to the bus stop.
Did you see her fall to the ground? No? Are you sure that it hit her?
I was so quick to get out of there because of the loud shot.
Were you in the car? Or you were in the car?
I was in the driver's seat.
You were in the driver's seat? Is there a reason, that precipitated it, that made you do it?
I don't know. I was like, well, I killed someone, so I might as well kill another.
As the confession continues, she expands beyond a single crime, introducing a second killing, arson, and a pattern of behavior that feels increasingly unstable. For investigators, this raises a critical question. Is this full truth exaggeration, or something else entirely?
What was the flammable thing that you used? Do you remember?
It was stuff you use for a cookout.
Like that? Lighter fluid? Okay. What made you do that? Okay. That's okay. Was that also in Arizona?
Yes.
It was? Okay. Was that before or after the drive-by?
After. Because after the drive-by and then arson, I was going to go and kill another person.
Okay. Why?
I don't know.
How did you feel after you killed his mom?
I got very high and I was tripping really badly. I was like, oh, that really just happened. Like, I really just killed your mom. And he was like, yeah, you did. And he started crying. And then I was like, I'm sorry. And then, I had to toughen it up because then that was when I went to go hide the body.
We're going to do that how?
Marijuana.
Just marijuana? Did you drink at all? Okay. But you put her body in a dumpster, right? And so...
In a dumpster with what?
It was by a neighborhood in Sylvania.
A neighborhood in Sylvania?
Yeah.
Is that where she lives?
That's me now.
Was it like one of those big dumpsters, like outside of the store, or was it like a garbage can?
A big dumpster.
Okay. Was it outside of the store?
No, it was outside of the neighborhood houses, like apartments, I think.
So it was an apartment dumpster?
Yeah, and then I threw away all the evidence in big double trash bags, and they took the trash.
Okay. In the same dumpster though?
No, and her dumpster, I did that.
Okay.
And the next day, the trash people came and took all the evidence.
Now the detective shifts into verification mode. Every detail, location, dumpster, cleaning supplies, timeline is broken down piece by piece. This isn't just listening anymore. This is evidence building. Because a confession alone isn't enough. It has to match reality.
Was it in April or was it in May?
What you said, we're in what?
Did it happen in April, the end of April maybe, or did it happen in early May?
End of April.
End of April, okay. And this was because she didn't want you guys to be together?
Yeah, and I think she honestly was really obsessed over him because whenever we were talking to her, about us and stuff, and she was like, well, if you guys have sex, I'm going to be perfectly fine with it and stuff like that. And we were like, well, in the future, like, we're not going to ask you to have sex. Like, that's weird. Like, that's something we would talk out ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. And, she was just, like, always all over her son. Like, always handsy with him and stuff like that, and being really flirt-like, if that makes sense.
Like inappropriate?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so not like an only son and mom relationship.
A very inappropriate relationship.
Okay.
Do you know if they ever were like sexually involved?
I don't think they were, because when I was talking to Jonathan about my suspicions, he was like, yeah, I kind of feel that way too, because, my mom would always get angry at me for certain things, and, I would tell her, like, why are you getting angry at me for this? And he was like, I don't understand it. And then he was also talking about, like, how he's seen some of this stuff too, and he made it feel uncomfortable. And then that's when I told him, I was like, you see why I killed your mom? Like, do you understand? Because she wouldn't let us be together. Like, nobody would let us be together. And it's kind of like...
At the beginning of this section, Katilyn starts turning motive into justification. She frames Nicole not just as an obstacle, but as someone she believes was inappropriate with Jonathan and standing in the way of their relationship. That shift matters, because in her mind, this is no longer random violence. It's becoming something she sees as deserved.
And blamed him for it, Who sent it to you? Do you remember who sent it to?
I don't.
Did you send it to more than one person?
No. I know I told, like, one other person that I killed somebody and stuff, and they were asking if I could kill another person for them, and that's how that went, and they wanted to come to Mexico.
The phone that you sold in Mexico, was that Nicole's phone? No?
Her phone was left at the house.
Her phone was left at the house. So it was one of your old phones that you sold, or was it someone else's?
It was my phone.
Okay. What about the jewelry that you guys pawned?
It was her jewelry that I found, and I gave it to him.
Okay. And
That's the one that you guys pawned elsewhere, or is that the one you were trying to sell in Mexico?
That's the one that we did in the pawn shop, and then that's what I also asked him if we could do that in Mexico to sell her jewelry. He was like, do whatever you want. And I was like, okay, then I'm going to sell it.
okay. Do you remember how much money you got for her jewelry?
$700.
Now the questions move into evidence. The phone, the jewelry, the gun, the ammunition. This is where confession turns into verification. Investigators already have the admission. What they need now is the physical trail. And every item she describes becomes something they can potentially match to the real world.
That's when I went into the car.
Okay.
It was a good minute.
So when you guys took her car, she was already dead. Okay. So it's safe to say she did not give you permission to take her car.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So you just mentioned that he was really upset that he killed his mom.
I have a really bad brain injury. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. I was just saying he was really upset that I killed his mom.
I just want to make sure that you're not taking 100% of the blame for something that he
Well, that's the thing. I'm taking 100% of the blame because it is the truth. I was the one that killed his mom. I was the one that did the shoot by or whatever. I was just, after killing her, I was like, fuck everybody else because they're always against me. And the reason why I killed her is because she literally wouldn't let us together. And she was so weird about it, and I did not like that. I didn't. And I remember when he was in jail and I was texting her, and she was like, well, I'll see about it if you guys can get back together, and we'll sit down and talk about it when she turns 18. I was like, I'm not about to do that. I will literally show up and be with him no matter what.
This part is critical because Katilyn begins separating roles. She repeatedly insists that she killed Nicole, while Jonathan helped only after the fact. That's not accidental. Once suspects realize they can't escape responsibility, many begin trying to control the degree of blame, especially when the person they love is also in danger.
Okay. Still in Ohio. It's for now. Okay. Did it beep or anything?
I don't know what happened.
You just tossed it out? Okay.
How long had you been planning to kill Nikki?
I wasn't planning on killing her. It was honestly, whenever I randomly was with him, he was like, you know, my mom doesn't want you here, you know, you're going to have to hide yourself. And I was like, I'm not about to do that. Like, I love you, I want to be with you, and I don't care, like, what she has to say about it. Like, I'll straight up, you know, hit her, like, I don't care. And then, you know, it was like a couple hours that he was gone for, that he was talking to his mom apparently. And I was like, well, you have 5 hours because I'm not about to pretend like I don't exist and that I can only talk to you and stuff. Like, I want us to be together, like, I want to be with you. And then, you know, not even 1 hour through it, he didn't do anything. So I went out there and I did it.
And where was he when it happened?
He was out in, like, the dining room, and then when it happened, he, like, ran out into the bedroom, and I think he was, like, in the pillows, like, screaming for help. Like, well, not screaming for help, he was, like, screaming. Like, I think he just really had PTSD over because he was in the military.
You said you were in the kitchen?
Yeah.
And she was putting him in a fridge or freezer?
Fridge.
Okay, you, like, grabbed her from behind?
No, I flipped her around and I did it.
And then did you push her onto the ground? And were you on top of her or beside her?
On top of her.
Like, kind of straddling her?
Where did this rock come from, though? If you were
I found it outside.
So you had
I had, like, one leg, like, in there.
already set
Mm-hmm.
before you started strangling her.
Now, the detective digs into planning, and what emerges is disturbing. Hiding in a house for days, being forced into the bathroom, giving Jonathan a deadline, placing the rock ahead of time. These aren't details of a sudden emotional outburst. They suggest premeditation slowly taking shape in real time.
I'm not sure.
Did she know that you were in the house, or were you hiding in the house?
I was hiding in the house.
Okay. How long had you been hiding in the house?
3 days.
3 days. Where were you hiding in the house?
I was hiding in the bathroom.
In the bathroom. Does she not use that room?
No, she has her own bathroom.
Okay. Okay. So were you spending all day in the bathroom?
Yeah, like I said, I was mostly sleeping most of the time.
Okay. Were you sleeping on the floor in the tub?
In the tub.
Okay. Why didn't you hide in his room?
Because he didn't. He didn't like want that. He was all against me even staying there. Like, he wanted us to be together, and I was like, well, I'm about to run away, so it's either I can go be with you or I'll find somebody else. And he was like, okay. And then, you know, I showed up, and then he was like, the same way he was whenever we were in his mind. He's like, I don't know what you want to do. Go hide in there.
So he told you to hide in the bathroom?
Yeah.
There's not like a guest room that you can find? Was there ever any close calls, especially?
By now, the house itself has become part of the interrogation. The bathroom, the window, the kitchen, the front yard, the safe, the table where the gun sat. Investigators are mentally reconstructing the crime scene as she speaks. And the more specific her answers become, the harder it will be to walk them back later.
When's the last time you smoked?
Like marijuana?
I don't know, like 3 days ago. I don't think I smoked the morning that I got caught. So.
So you're not like high right now or anything? So you said you went got high after you killed her, but now, like, do you feel bad about killing her, or are you just kind of like, whatever?
I don't feel bad about it because she was inappropriate towards him and she wouldn't let us be together. And you know what they say, like, you know, let people do them, let people be people, like, don't interfere with somebody's life because it's going to come right back on you.
Do you think she deserves that?
Yeah, I do. And I mean, it's not like she was about to die anyways. So it's not like it's literally, like, we all die at some point. It's not like she was literally about to die.
she was literally about to die?
No, I'm meaning it as, like, she was old already, and all of us, people in general, we all die at some point, and she was literally close to that age of dying. So I feel like it doesn't matter if I killed her or not, and I killed her because she gave me really two good reasons. She wouldn't let us be together, and she was very inappropriate towards him.
This section reveals something even darker. Katilyn doesn't describe the killing with regret. She describes it with logic. Nicole was old, in a way, and isolated, and that, in Katilyn's mind, made the murder easier to justify. That emotional flatness is chilling, because it shows how thoroughly she has rationalized what she did.
I used her computer.
Yeah, where's the computer?
It was, like, at one of the hotel rooms.
Okay. What about, have you been worried that they found Nikki? Have you been trying to figure out if...
I'm pretty sure they haven't found her because just the simple fact that, like, my stuff and his stuff on Class 3 out there are, like, crazy. And I don't think they would have even noticed she was killed because, like I said, the trash literally took all the evidence. I cleaned it up pretty damn well. And, the place that I dropped her body off at, nobody was there around at that time. It was dark. It was literally, like, creek dark type of dark. And I made sure that, it looked like normal trash in the big dumpster, so.
Okay. Actually, that's a good point. When you had her wrapped in a tarp, did it look like a body wrapped in a tarp, or because, it looks like a body wrapped in a tarp, right?
No, it did not look like a body wrapped.
How did you get it to not look like a body wrapped in a tarp?
I folded her body up.
Okay. Was it difficult to fold her body up?
Sort of was, but not really.
Okay.
It was like lifting weights multiple times.
Okay. So she was folded in half. Okay. And
not in half, like, you know how people can go like this?
Okay.
And put your head in.
Now she talks about the disposal with confidence, how she wrapped the body, folded it, placed it in the dumpster, cleaned the scene, and used the victim's own money to fund the escape. At this stage, the detective isn't just hearing confession. He's collecting a roadmap. Following the investigation and interrogation, Katilyn Coons and her boyfriend Jonathan Jones both entered no contest pleas to charges including aggravated murder and abuse of a corpse. The court ultimately sentenced both defendants to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 25 years. From a legal standpoint, the sentence reflects the gravity of the crime while also accounting for procedural considerations such as plea negotiations and Coons' age at the time of the offense. Although she was 17 when the murder occurred, she was tried as an adult, which significantly increased sentencing exposure. The plea agreement also resulted in the dismissal of additional charges, streamlining the prosecution's case while ensuring a guaranteed conviction. The life sentence with parole eligibility indicates that the court recognized both the severity of premeditated homicide and the possibility, however limited, of future rehabilitation under strict legal conditions.